Back in cool cult builder.
Sorry, I'm distracted. I had a hairy microphone. I was de-hairifying.
Have you been eating your microphone that your beard hair just ended up on it?
Sure, let's go with that. I mean, you know, I do usually sit this close to the microphone, so.
I'm just wondering how your microphone just got so hairy that you needed to de-hair it.
I don't know. I just saw hair on it, and I was
Oh,
looking
an
at the hair.
individual
I was
hair?
actively picking one hair off of my microphone.
Okay.
While Nugget introduced the amazing mainline series of
Nugget.
Happy Cult Time. Happy
Cult friends.
Is it a stereotype that I think Tony the Pony is now Italian because he's angry all the time and trying to get people to eat shit? Just the name Tony. Like, I'm thinking Tony Soprano.
I would say that's very stereotyping.
I didn't realize it was a stereotype for gangsters to want people to eat poop. Thought they were murderers.
To think that Tony the Pony's an Italian just based on his name.
I mean, I would imagine that a John Smith would be, you know, English. Is that stereotypical? Is it a negative stereotype? Are there positive stereotypes?
I actually thought that you were going to say you expected John Smith to be a Mormon.
No.
And then I was going to say, yes.
Joseph Smith. That would be Joseph Smith.
I don't even.
A stereotype?
I don't even know my own religion. Look at that. It's been too long. It's been too long since I've had to care. Wasn't. Dang it! I'm curious now.
I don't know. Welcome to the Super Monkey Fighters religious hour, where we discuss the various stereotypical names of religious figures.
Okay, well, to be fair, there is a John Smith who's a nephew of Joseph Smith, who, you know.
I'm sure there's a lot of them.
I know.
Pretty common name.
There's
even a John Smith who's an uncle to Joseph Smith, so.
And to be fair, you know, they did tend to have a lot of children, so I'm sure they had to use a lot of names. I'm sure there was multiple Johns. You're John number 1, you're John number 2.
You're John Sr. and you're John Jr.
And your brother somehow.
Yeah, okay. We just got religious on this channel. We now have to burn it down.
Although, to be fair, most of the Mormons that I've known have not had, like, Joseph Smith names. They've all been, like, weird, almost biblical names.
Almost biblical?
Well, I mean, it's like fake Bible names, right?
Like, it sounds biblical, but there's no real reference.
Or it's like a normal name, but it's spelt really weird.
That's quite common.
Yeah.
I'm actually
like
curious
Job.
on
I'm gonna throw some Z's in there just to mix things up.
I'm now curious on if you have an example to use.
Like Moroni or Nephi or.
Oh, see, like I in school I did know someone who was named Nephi, and now I realize, yeah, I guess that is a more biblical name, perhaps.
That's the thing, though, is it's not really named from the Bible. It's from the Space Bible. So
the Intergalactic Bible.
The Book of Mormon, which is the Space Bible. That's the Mormon religion. It's Jesus in space.
For some reason, I thought Space Bible. I was thinking Scientology, because technically, I imagine that's space.
No, that's alien ghosts infect your body, and you need to use money. You need to give money to the church in order to get rid of them, or something like that.
Or isn't it to get yourself enlightened so you can become one with your alien host?
No, I thought it was you're trying to get rid of them. I thought there was a volcano that erupted and killed the aliens, and now their ghosts infect your body.
I'm part of me wants to look this up, but then I'm thinking I don't really know if I want our channel to deal with Scientology.
Can I kill those things? Not sure.
The wrath of the Scientologists.
We've heard the rumors about Scientology, so.
I mean, Lee Remini is fighting the good fight on that one.
Okay, Scientology, a religious system based on the seeking of self-knowledge and spiritual fulfillment through graded courses of study and training. That's
Wait, did you like go to their website? Because you can't really get what they're about from their information.
no, I didn't go to their website. I just searched it up on Google, and that's what came. So let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So Wikipedia.
Sure. They're gonna come. They're
put
gonna
the
show up
entry
at
in.
your house, start knocking at your door.
They'll hack my phone, and I'll start seeing little digital pamphlets to join their religion. What is the?
It's also great how like we don't even discuss the game anymore. It's like, oh, there's a little bit about the game. There's something about poop. And now we're
Okay,
like,
how about you?
religion.
How about you discuss the game, and I just.
And you just research things on the internet. So long as they stay anatomically correct, I think we're okay.
Anatomically correct. I like how a lot of questions that people ask are, is Scientology good or evil? Why do people oppose Scientology? Why is Scientology considered a cult? Why is Scientology so controversial? It's just like all of these high question related to the... Because basically it's just, why is Scientology a cult? That's usually what?
Because of you got to love hot tub. Heal.
Oh, I love hot tub. Maybe I should
That's
look at what's
a lot
going on. Yeah, it's a love hot tub. Oh, okay.
you heard love hot tub. You're waiting.
No, I figured because
That sounds more. It sounds more interesting
just-
than there's
it's
another
just
blue heart down
because we
below.
keep saying that we don't talk about
Bottom
the
left.
game.
Oh.
So you said something that was interesting related to the game. I was going to add
Yes,
my
uh-huh.
input to what was interesting.
Yeah. I think you might actually. You've got a chance this time to actually.
Maybe.
You've got like 3 times more hearts than you did before. Don't worry, Feathers won't distract you too much with her religious
My
quests.
religious quest, my quest for religious
Or
enlightenment,
spiritual
my
awakening.
my religion enlightenment.
Yes.
I don't want to read.
You still haven't found anything about the space ghosts?
Well, it gives like a lot of information I don't want to read through. I just want like this Cliff Notes version of like this is what they believe. But it just gives me this whole gigantic page worth of information, and I don't want that.
Yes, we don't want information.
I don't want bogus information.
I'm trying to research something, and all these words are getting in the way.
It's exactly what my problem is.
It's the words I don't want to read.
I just like Cliff Notes versions because it just adds all this like mumbo jumbo word garbage to make it sound more important than than it is. And that's why I don't want to try and sift through what actually is relevant to just the fluff of words.
Ooh, extra fervor from Clancy.
Fervalicious.
Okay, so Hubbard, of course, the guy who founded Scientology,
It was a science fiction novelist.
Paperback writer.
each individual he believed possesses a mind that, under normal conditions, operates analytically
what's this
to
big
make
dude?
survival-oriented judgments.
Gold skeleton?
But
Whoa, bombs!
the mind is not fully functioning, and see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just a lot of mumbo jumbo garbage that it's just like I don't.
Yeah.
Just give me the damn Cliff Notes versions.
Scientology Space Ghosts. Look that up. It'll give you all the
Scientology
information.
Space Ghosts. Okay. Space opera in Scientology. That's the first thing that came up. Space opera.
There are a lot of actors involved.
Is it that
That's
you want to
true.
stay away from the Thetans, or you want to be a Thetan? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the
Gotta-
Thetans are the
gotta-
ghosts, right?
Do a
they
sensing
infect
session
you, and
with an E meter
Yeah.
to read your chi, and your feng shui,
Yes.
then give him your money.
Yeah. Look up what is a thetan.
I don't even. How would you spell that?
Sound it out.
There's a T and an H in there somewhere. An E, a T, an A, and an N. Yeah, one thing I never knew, because I remember, I think it was you, Nugget, somehow, like, from a garage sale or something like that, had an L. Ron Hubbard science fiction novel. And, yeah, and it had, like, it was edited. So instead of profanity, it had, like, bleeps. Like, it would say, they typed out the word bleep. And I never knew if it was, like, was this, like, the censored version that somebody had put out, or was this, like, this is actually how he wrote?
Maybe this will help.
Great balls of
Okay,
fire.
so this is something from CNN. It says, at the core of Scientology is a belief that each human has a reactive mind that responds to life's traumas, clouding the analytic mind and keeping us from experiencing reality. Members of the religion submit to a process called auditing to find the source of this trauma, reliving those experiences in an attempt to neutralize them and reassert the primacy of the analytic mind working toward a spiritual state called clear. So I maybe it once had space ghost things infecting the mind, but maybe they changed it.
Thetans are alien ghosts. Xenu. The narrative of Xenu is a figure in the Church of Scientology's secret advanced technology, a sacred esoteric teaching. To the traumatic memories associated with them as the wall of fire, the narrative of Xenu is part of Scientology's techniques, blah, blah, blah. Xenu was the ruler of a galactic confederacy 75 million years ago, which consisted of 26 stars and 76 planets, including Earth, which was known as Tikakak. Yes. Xenu was about to be deposed of power, so he devised a plot to eliminate the excess population from his dominions with the assistance of psychiatrists. He gathered billions of his citizens under the pretense of income tax inspections, then paralyzed them and froze them in a mixture of alcohol and glycol to capture their souls. The kidnapped populace was loaded into spacecraft for transport to the site of extermination, the planet of Tigak, or Earth. Yes, so that's what the religion teaches and is founded on. A science fiction author founded a religion based on sci-fi principles. Like, it's not a religion, it's
Space opera?
It's a... Yes. It's a man trying to get tax-exempt status. Which is the only difference between a cult and a religion.
But isn't that just all religion is tax exempt, so all religion is cult?
Ding, ding,
No,
ding,
I'm not,
ding, ding.
I'm not, it's not a new revelation. I'm just saying that means that there doesn't seem to be any religion in the world, that it just is a cult.
That they're all power structures used to oppress people?
We fought
Or like
this
these
guy
cults
yet?
where they're
Whoa.
about keeping an even... I think
I
this
think you
guy's
got
killed
close.
you before.
You got close to it, and then he did like some
'Cause he-
random
Yeah, can kill us.
move.
Whoa!
Also, I don't know if we should necessarily refer to Eligos here as he, considering it births a lot of
Is it
smaller versions of
birthing
itself.
or is it just summoning?
Looks like they're coming
Oh,
out of it.
it's kind of adorable once you kill it and turn it back to normal.
Really? Looks like it's got chunks of stuff in its beard.
Probably its feet. It looked like, because it was
No,
bundled up, it looked like it could have been its feet. But then, yeah, it's got stuff in its feet.
Oh, you can get pumpkins or nuggets or... Oh, that's wood, not a bedroll. It's like, why would you need 17 bedrolls?
And look at all that gold.
Gold, I remember, dude. The gold is what we were trying for. Because everything costs gold.
Yeah, everything
apparently.
you do. And now you're gonna move on.
Everything is gold, and that's the other big tenet of religion
Hiding.
is
Paying.
give money. Give money. Pass the plate around.
Pass the plate around. That's like the biggest thing that I see so often is
offering chest.
pay the church and you'll be saved from eternal damnation. Pay us and we'll save you. Why? Yeah, religion.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Time for a sacrifice.
Because you keep feeding him
Bird
poo,
burglar.
so
Oh,
he's
no.
angry. And I think you can talk to him and offer
You
re-education.
gotta re-educate. You could read his mind.
Yeah, you can't let him out until at least his anger.
I mean,
But you can probably do a
Sacrifice.
sermon and raise up your...
you can sacrifice and raise up all your whichever thing that raises, and then bring him back to life as another ritual.
Deeper ritual.
Ooh, cheaper ones.
Problem is sacrificing. You're soon gonna run out of followers to sacrifice to the
Are you?
flame.
You can resurrect them. That was the whole thing. You can sacrifice and then bring them back. It even cures them of old age. They're still as old as they were. It just cures them of old age.
That means you can get truly old people in your cult,
Who's it gonna be?
which are the two old ones you've got. It's like all of your followers are old almost.
They're all getting there.
Yeah.
You get some more followers.
And they exploded with love hearts.
That's what love truly is an explosion of hearts.
Let's see what the fourth one is.
You now no longer reproduce, you just explode out a child from your love.
That's not at all what I said. I said you explode hearts.
Unlocks the grave building.
I don't know how we went to procreation from love.
Because I just imagine, like, there's no longer, like, physical interactions with anyone, like partners or anything. It just is, it's just your love heart exploding and their love heart exploding, and then together pops out a child.
This isn't, it's not Encino Man. What's that Stallone movie? Demolition Man.
Or you're in a simulation.
Where there's no, that wasn't a simulation. That was in the future. And people didn't touch, they used virtual reality.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I guess I should have said virtual reality, but
Yes. I guess simulation is the more modern term for it.
yeah.
You just use the metaverse. That's what it is. It's the metaverse. You link the metaverse to your Twitter.
Across
And
the
then
streams.
Mark Zuckerberg gets to watch all of it.
Oh no, that's so wrong.
And that's the metaverse.
Everything you do, there's always Mark Zuckerberg watching. Keep that in mind for anyone who's
Zuckerberg
doing
or Elon
things.
Musk now with Twitter.
For however long that lasts. This might date the video, because probably by the time this comes out, we'll have a
By the time this
better...
video comes out, Twitter will have already gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
He bought it a week ago. Or he took over like a week ago.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit longer than a week ago from the recording of this.
After what? months, years long battle of trying to get it, and then he changed his mind, like, I don't really want it, but I'm forced to take it. So then I'm gonna burn it to the ground because why do things properly?
Honestly, I think that he thought that it being kind of a source of news, that somehow it was government subsidized, because he thinks that the news is government subsidized, but it's not. And because that's the way he makes money with all of his other businesses, is he gets grants and money and contracts from the government. So
right,
it's like, oh, I'll just take over Twitter, and then I'll get the government kickbacks from being a news source. And then he took it over, and then they're like, that's not how that works. He's like, oh crap, I gotta get out of this. That and the whole metaverse, watching people do naughty things. That's his motivation.
That's his one and only motivation in the world. I mean, he does have I think his philosophy is like the same as his dad's, where I'm only put on this earth to make children, so I'm gonna make as many children as I can.
That's just a whole group of people that should probably be, just separated from society.
It's funny how I'll read things about, I guess, his mindset of we're on a downward spiral of population of people, or whatever it's called. We're soon gonna go extinct as people, as a race, because we're not creating as many people as we did, I don't know, however many years ago, whatever. But then I just think,
I don't know if anyone's looked at the world population since the 50s, but I don't think we're declining.
Yeah, but tell that to him.
Yes, birth rates are declining, but that's only a problem if you exploit people for labor. Fewer people to exploit.
Yeah, to force them to work for you. But I just think, well, if you had your way, I'm sure you'd be able to repopulate the Earth all by yourself.
He's got to practice for Mars, right?
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to know. It's just basically Mars will be Musk family.
Mars will be musky.
Yeah. It'll just be all his family and everything.
It's the musk of Mars.
And then the only way that Mars will be able to get repopulated is through family relations. So then it's just... I mean,
that's kind of already going on. So his dad had fathered a child with his stepsister.
Oh, I saw that, and
like I said, there's nothing good. There's nothing good, and I know we're probably pissing off a lot of Elon Musk fanboys, but there's really just nothing good there. A lot of really bad ideas just to take advantage of people.
You can go up one and unlock the 3 if you desire.
Yeah, there was a lot of promise. I think if Elon Musk was able to pull off even 10% of the things he promised, it'd be fantastic. But it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors.
One, because I remember, 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, I don't even remember how long, because geez, COVID kicks everyone's butt in terms of memory. But the idea of, hey, let's build a space program to actually start going back into space and exploring. And with him, I guess, funding a lot of that, it's like, yeah, that's a great idea. But then in theory, it's not always well executed.
Yeah. Well, the things are like the Boring Company, where it's like, hey, we're gonna solve traffic. We're gonna have self-driving cars that just drive onto an underground superhighway system that everything's automated. As soon as you're on the superhighway, you can go hundreds of miles an hour. Everything's fantastic, and then you don't have to do train stations. You just drive off and away.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea. So they've actually got a functional 1-lane highway underneath Las Vegas. But the Tesla autopilot doesn't work in the tunnels because they're too narrow. Which is strange to me that the autopilot can't figure out how to drive in a narrow tunnel.
Something that there's...
Or, even be programmed just to follow this path. Doesn't really need an auto drive system if it's just following this path. So they've got drivers who drive them. Because of the way that it was built, they can't go over 55 miles an hour.
Okay.
And because the maintenance cost on keeping a bunch of Teslas running nonstop for people, and the speed limitations, they're going to upgrade it to a train so that the maintenance is less and they can go faster.
Solving the world's problems.
Commonly known as a subway system, been around for 150 years.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There are ideas that seem good in theory, and then when you start trying to execute it, no.
Yeah, I mean, and even like the Tesla superchargers all over the country, that's a fantastic idea. What he pitched was you can either stop and wait for it to charge 45 minutes to an hour or something like that, or swap the battery out in less time than it takes to fill up your tank, and away you go. It's also not a thing. Just doesn't work. Or the semi-truck, the Tesla trucks, the semis that they announced like 4 years ago. Just not on the road yet. In fact, there's a guy, he's named his company Edison Motors because he got sick of waiting for his Tesla and just decided to make his own electric semi company. And he's built and manufactured and is starting to sell his own electric semis.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I think that's kind of, in a way, a good thing about potentially like society and the way that a lot of people tend to think is, I'm tired of waiting for you to fix my problem. I'm going to come up with an idea to fix it or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was looking at the solar roof panels where it's just like, hey, we just put shingles down. Because again, the promise was this will be less than the cost of a normal roof, and it'll be solar powered. It's like, that's amazing. And then as soon as they announced it, I put the numbers into their calculator, and it was like $45,000 for the roof.
For just your individual roof?
For my actual roof.
Wow.
Which was
what are they
astronomically
doing?
more than
Building
what
you
it
a new
actually
house?
cost to repair my roof. Like, that's the thing is, it was just like, yeah, like at the time I was just like, wait, how is this supposed to be cheaper than a normal roof? Like, I've got a low pitch roof. Like, it was a rubber membrane at the time. I'm just like, even doing shingles on it would have been cheaper than the rubber membrane that we upgraded. But it's just like, holy crap. It's just a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's like, I really want all of this stuff to be true, but it's just not.
Do you want to talk to that guy that has the exclamation point above his head? It'll finish up that quest for you.
Where?
To the
That's
left.
what I'm looking for.
He's in the fields. I knew you could do it. What did you do on that one?
He made the 2 fish meals.
Oh, fish meals.
Why
You've also still got a sick pony floating around somewhere. I saw, and looks like a sick giraffe.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, your outhouse is severely overflowing. Dude, your followers are just like...
It's like piled up in front of the door too.
Yeah.
It's like a real outhouse at like a campsite or something like that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Or like a music festival where the kids go to.
I saw the documentary for the...
Woodstock 99?
Yeah. I was like, what is it? I was like, what? It's that famous festival thing. Yeah, the Woodstock 99. And I just think times are different. 30 years later or whatever it was. I don't know when the original
69?
Woodstock.
69.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 30 years later. People are different. Bands are different. Times are different. And the fact that you want to screw over your customers, I guess, is the way to call it.
Did you fix?
Yeah.
Turd burglars fixed?
He has stopped dissenting.
There's all a trick. He's gonna stab you in the back.
Probably. But yeah, that Woodstock documentary is Whether or not it's just fluffed up and made worse than it is, or whatever you want to, however you want to look at it, it's kind of enlightening.
I haven't seen the documentary, but I remember when it happened.
Yeah, me too.
So, I mean, I remember it being a mess while it was going on.
Yeah.
Because I think it was broadcast. Most of it was broadcast. Probably like Fox or something like that.
Yeah, some of it was broadcast. And then, like, the last day of Woodstock, I think they had to stop broadcasting because, like, the reporters were effectively in a danger zone at that point. So, yeah, it was enlightening.
You think, did they have to take a highway to get to that danger zone?
They had to take a highway to get away from that danger zone.
Yeah, to get away from the danger zone. Yeah, how much was...
Like 50.
Helob. That's right. Not Shelob.
Because it's copywritten, yeah. Or intellectual
Legally
property.
distinct.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why halflings are halflings in most fiction outside of hobbits. Instead of hobbits. It's also why treants exist. Because...
So they're not called Ents?
Yes, because the makers of D&D were actually sued by the Tolkien estate for hobbits and other intellectual property theft.
Makes me wonder then how much in D&D has had to change in regards to names
Lots of
to
it.
keep them distinct.
Yeah, lots of it. There's also lots of changes that happen just with, like, you know, cultural shifts and things like that. So,
Yeah.
because, like, most recently, there used to be the alignment charts, and there were, like, races that were inherently evil, and they did away with that. They did away with that. So it's not, you know, which is weird sometimes when you think about it, because you're like, well, some of the races that were inherently evil were like devils and demons. So, I mean, that's kind of their deal.
Yeah.
But there's also not necessarily a race kind of a thing. Like, even within the D&D world, like demons, there's different kinds of demons, there's different kinds of devils, right? But there was also like I think orcs were always generally aligned to evil, or goblins, or those kinds of things.
Right.
It was more like, I think people wanted to not be racist, but also play as those characters.
I was gonna say, it's not... Perhaps back when D&D was first created, it might have been more of a black and white concept of these people are just evil and these people are just good, or whatever.
Yeah.
But you look at just general people in the world that we live in, and it's not black and white. It's not simply one or the other. And so the idea is, well, if you play a demon character, or if you play an orc or whatever, you wouldn't necessarily create them as one or the other, and things influence your character to be and grow and change depending on how they interact with the world. It's like the world we live in.
You've got a really old purple nurple.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, how long has that been around?
It's been there for a bit.
Yeah.
But no, and it's like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons is a storytelling medium.
Yeah.
You make more interesting stories the more complex characters you have, and if it's like, well, you're evil no matter what, and you're good no matter what. Whoa, what's this?
How to buy seeds if you
Seeds.
desire 'em.
Hmm. Feed your hungry followers. Is that a shrimp? Or a lobster? Or a roly-poly bug?
Up for interpretation.
Or all of the above? Whoa! What's going on here?
You're doing something.
New area.
But you didn't defeat the boss of the other area, did you?
They did.
Was it like the final boss, or was it like a mini
There
boss?
was still more.
Yeah, there's two more to open up in there.
Oh.
And that's not saying you can't
Now
go
we
to the
got-
other
we
area.
got
I'm
multiple.
just...
I thought it was more linear. I didn't realize you could open up extra areas early. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, in regards to D&D and like the alignment situation, I I think of those more in terms of like giving you an idea of how a character would interact into the world, but I would never stick to it as being this is exactly what my character is, and this is exactly how they have to act, and this is exactly how they have to be. It's just, I look at it as like a guideline. A way.
Well, and yeah, it's always interesting too when somebody makes a party and it's like, oh, I'm gonna be, a paladin.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you are lawful good, which means anytime you see anything that violates the law,
You have to
or
do
your
something
moral
about it.
code, you have to do something about it. And then you've got a person in your party who's a rogue who breaks the law all the time.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? And so, but I think more of the alignment chart was more just like helping people who aren't actors, understand how to the character motivations and how those kinds of things should go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and even then,
That said preach. I thought that said peaches. Peaches.
even then, though, in terms of like alignment, people change, and it's again, it comes down to how you interact with the world, how you think allegedly your character would interact with the world, and you could effectively go from someone who's so lawfully good to chaotic evil or something.
Well, and there are paths for that with those kinds of things where it's like Oathbreaker paladins and things like that, or warlocks are especially that way because people realize that, oh wait, this isn't. I'm usually chained to an evil being that's trying to
Take over the world.
Like, it's this game we're playing right now, right? Like,
Yeah.
You're obviously the servant of an evil dark lord that people are trying to keep out of the world.
Out of the world, and you're effectively unchaining him to release him into the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Tree stump statue. That might be easier than the stone one. Cost less.
So yeah, I would just think of it as guidelines and make an interesting and complex character if you can. Or make a really simple one and build on the complexity.
Or have a character that has amnesia and does another backstory and just let the DM build it for you. Because
Yeah?
that's going on in my campaign. One of the players, that's their backstory. And they don't. It's interesting. So
Yeah.
but it's also interesting because they're an undead cleric. And clerics get spells to fight the undead. Which is really weird.
Right.
So it's like, wait, how does that
So
work?
basically, if you do something like destroy undead, do you kill yourself with it?
Yeah, you're like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Turn undead. I have to run away from myself.
But you
Huh?
can never escape yourself, so how does that work?
Yeah. Ooh, mystery box. Double mystery box and a heart. I think the heart is going to do. Anytime there's a heart, I think you should make your way to that
Probably.
path.
Yeah, but he's also looking for
Is this another
followers,
Gaston?
so-
Didn't Gaston beat us? We've already got Gaston. Is this another Gaston? Is this Gaston's brother?
His child,
It's Goiston.
Boyston.
It just sounds moist. I don't like it. Sounds like Gaston got saturated and is soggy.
So what level are you guys on in your campaign?
Yes. We're relatively low level. I think. I can't ever remember. It's been a while since we played too, which is also
Oh,
fun.
okay. Here's
Just
the,
had a lot of things that come up. So
right. Here's the question: who is the note taker in your group? Considering if you don't play as often,
it's not me. I intentionally, like, my character is illiterate, doesn't remember things, doesn't know how to.
you basically built
just-
yourself into the
Like,
campaign.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it was kind of like, I know I'm not going to take notes or remember things, or, yeah. I'm constantly giving false names, and My favorite thing, because it works out usually for me, is I'll find like a random, just generic piece of loot. Like I've just got some BS little sword that doesn't do anything. And I make up some story about it being like a priceless family heirloom that helped me slay a dragon or something like that. It's been passed down from generations to generations, and then I'll sell it for like a lot of money. Or give it to somebody and they feel really special and, you know, do something with it.
And it actually works?
It's worked so far. To be fair, one of the merchants that I sold it to then, like, I think I got, like, it was just a sword, and, like, in the player's handbook, it tells you how much it would have been. It was, like, you know, 10 gold or something like that, and I got, like, 100 gold out of it. And then the merchant put it up for sale with the story, like, written out next to it and all that kind of stuff for, like, 500 or 1,000 gold, something like that.
Wow. So not only are you scamming people, but the merchant who's...
The merchants are also scamming people. Yeah. I think the first one I traded for something, I can't remember. Yeah.
Is your DM kind of lenient in regards to what you guys do and don't remember, considering you don't play as much?
Sometimes, like, and we'll ask, and he'll know. It's, I mean, our DM's
Oh no, I
talking,
know.
So it's for the audience.
I almost just said his real name, and then I realized I'll just label him as DM for right now.
DM Taco. Usually, I mean, and there's, I mean, kind of the mechanics of the game allow for that, right? You're like, do we remember this? Does my character know this kind of thing? And then he'll be like, you'll remember from this, like, this is the person that you met. And you're like, oh, right. So, but like, and I've talked about this before, where it doesn't matter what name he comes up with, we're not going to remember it, so we make up our own, which is, like, standard, I think, for D&D games. Most people are just like, nope, we're making up our own nickname for this person,
So, you guys played together for that ship battle. Have you played together in the same room?
Not since then. We haven't even played since then.
Oh, wow.
Yep. In fact, I think one of the characters is rolling death saves. If I
What happened?
Right. They took too much damage. They're dead. They went to 0 hit points.
Okay. I didn't know if like something specifically happened in regards to. Wait, is it Gary?
It's our cleric. It's our healer, and it's not Gary. No.
Because
I think. In fact, I think because there's 4 of us, 4 of the players. I think the 3 of them are in pretty rough shape, and I'm just fine because
you shoot from a distance.
Smart. I found a rock and just fling arrows. But it's also bad because it's like, well, I could go save that person who's dying, but I can't get there fast. It's also funny too because we usually play through Discord, and so we'll have a player chat that in the background where the players are all talking outside the DM, and it's usually just like, so are we just gonna burn this town down and leave? Like, what's the plan here? He's trying to build this whole story around it. We're just like,
do we just save him time and not, you know, let him continue his story and we just burn the town down?
And there have been several times too where like I'll let the dice make a decision for me. I'm like, do I just steal the dragon egg and leave everyone behind or not?
How often do you guys roll physical dice?
All the time.
Oh, okay. Because you mentioned you play...
I use D&D Beyond a lot just because it's like, oh, I've got to add a bunch of stuff into this. Nope.
Yeah.
D&D Beyond.
Is there a way on the, I guess, app or program or whatever you want to call it, to plug in your dice roll and then it just adds everything for you? Or do you have to physically roll it through the app?
No. If you roll through that, it just gives you it just outputs the number. So.
Okay.
But yeah. Which I do still, it's also, I don't think it doesn't necessarily like do everything, but it'll be like, oh, your weapon does 1d8 plus 5 damage. I was like, I don't want to add 5 to whatever I roll.
You just wanted to automatically add it?
I just wanted to do it for me. But then it's like, but my attacks do an extra blah 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 blah. Like, it won't add in all of those kinds of
But then
things.
doesn't it
So
make it harder if
there is-
someone has like resistance to it to then figure out, okay, well it added 5 to it.
Well, no, that's on the DM. That's if the DM has it, like, yeah. I say it did this much damage, the DM figures out how much it actually did.
Well, but
from
if it's
So-
like if your weapon does like +5 poison damage or whatever, and the enemy that you attacked is resistant to that +5, then don't you still have to figure it out?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
So I just say, you know, it did this much of this type of damage, this much of this type of damage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's usually a mechanic, like, if you don't know that the creature is resistant to something, you know, the DM is probably going to try and keep that a secret.
No,
from
that's
you.
true.
And
It's just
so
if it's all plugged in on the D&D Beyond, then figuring out like
oh no, it just tells you just roll and it gives you a number out at the end. So and so like my character has, I'll do like a 1d4 psychic damage on every attack, and then I have a spell I can add on to where whoever has a spell on them, I do another like d6 or another d4 of a different kind of damage. So it won't add those 2 other kinds of damage on it. It'll just I've still gotta make sure I roll those as well. But yeah, it usually just comes down to we play late at night on the weekends and I'm half asleep, and so I'm like, I'm just pressing the button. But then I'll usually have physical dice sitting next to me, and those are the ones that I'll usually roll to make decisions for me.
but basically that's a lot.
This one, I was gonna say, this one's a higher stakes battle because you didn't go to a hard place beforehand, or you don't have all the extra. You did, but you don't have this.
Yeah,
he used
Which I
some
didn't
of
get
them.
as much. I had a buff, like a tarot card earlier, so that's why I got a little more.
And you're going with the grabby hands this time.
Last time.
Did they?
You have your special, yeah.
Yeah, he has. I have noticed you have been using that a lot more. I think that's been effective as
Yeah,
well.
but sometimes he can't use it if he doesn't have the juice to do it.
Yeah, you gotta have the
Had
juice.
The juice.
You don't got the juice, you can't let it loose.
Have you guys ever thought about not playing on like the weekend, or more specifically, not at night on the weekend?
It's just that that's the time we'd have available. So, but yes, I always think about, oh hey, it's late and I've been awake for way too long and I want to go to sleep. That's. I mean, to be fair, that's like 6:30 in the evening most days. So.
Did we want to call it here on your final sermon for today?
It's as soon as Nugget stops, which we know is never going to happen. He's going to find another tedious little task he's got to take care of.
It's hard.
You got to
All
fuel
right.
the statue.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
See
Hope you
ya.
enjoyed our rants.
And no rants or discussions.
Yes, discussions.